Review this AliExpress 28mm PWK carb. I think the darn thing was like $13.99. I don't know. I think it was $1 shipping, so maybe $14.99.
You cheap bastard!
And see if it works just as good as the $150 PWK that you normally get. Pretty cool looking. Another successful mod. I'm gonna tell you what, these PWKs, I'm really a fan of them. They don't idle very good, and but man, do they make them quick. I've got the $160 PWK, the real Keihin, on this one here. I put the $40 PWK from Amazon on the 50, and I've got the $14 PWK on this one, and they all are about the same, tell you the truth. I can't find a bit of difference. They all gained about 3 miles an hour on top, but more impressively than the 3 mile an hour gain was how quick they feel. They feel like they're going to do a wheelie. They really do. They just make the things darn quick, and they just seem to have way more power down low. I'll show you how to put it on the 150 and what's required. But to tune it and dial it in, it's going to be just like any other PWK. So if you want to know how to tune these things and dial them in, go to my 50cc PWK. I put the 21mm on a 50, and watch that video past the install part and how to dial it in and tune it. I won't put that on this video, it'll make it way too long. If you got these stupid things, like these little things here, take them off, get rid of them, dump them. They just get in the way when you try to work on your carburetor. And this one's nice. This has got the little thing on the bottom, and you can get right to the jets. If you want to access the pilot jet or the idle jet, you just take the whole bowl off. It's right there beside the main jet. Fuel goes in this big tube. We'll see if the float bowl is shutting off when these little lines are parallel. And they are. That looks good. Both these lines here work. They're both drain valves, one on each side. They go down into the float bowl, and when you tip over, fuel drains out. So we'll have two lines. It'll look cool. Now it does have what appears to be a drain on the side. That goes to this. So that does not go to a drain. There's no screw or anything to drain your float. That goes to this tube right here. That tube sits higher than the float should be, than the fuel level should be. I think that's so if the fuel goes too high, it drains out. Not really sure. Underneath this little screw, there is a jet down inside there. It's tiny, and it works. Guess you can take that out and change the jet size if you want to go to a bigger or smaller jet. You can look at that other video and you know all about what these do. We'll leave it hooked up. They're kind of cool, and it adds to the main jet circuit, so it does work. You got air coming out of there, so that'll suck some fuel in there theoretically. They really bury these main jets on there from the factory, so I just have to take the emulsion tube out and get the main jet out. I don't usually tighten the main jets that tight and put the emulsion tube back in, but you can see in there, you can see that needle. That's your needle jet. You can see how far down it goes. It does go down to the top of the main jet. It looks like it came with a 120 main jet installed, and then we got some little jets in a kit they give you. They give you these spares, and for main jets they're giving us a 110 and a 115. I'll probably start with that 110 and work myself up. Got some of these idle jets. I can't even read it, but different sizes. I've got enough extras though that if we have to go bigger or smaller, I've got jets plenty. It even came with another needle jet. Depending on the thickness and narrowness of that, you can richen and lean it, as well as the up and down position. So that's a pretty good deal to get an extra one of those, especially with this clip on it, because you'll lose these clips and then you're screwed. But if you got this, you get an extra clip. So I've got my smallest main jet in there. I'm going to bring this screw, I seated it down, I'm going to bring it out probably 1.5 turns. That's my nominal I'm going to start at. They had it out 1 turn. I'm going to make sure my idle is down. That's where I like to start my tuning out at. These clips always come in the center position. I always lower them by raising the clip 1 notch. I lower the needle down, I lean it. You know, I like to start all my tuning very lean and then start riching it up. Alright, well, I don't skip anything. But yeah, it looks like a legit PWK carb. Everything looks like the real deal. $10. I don't see a difference in this and the nice ones. This is that weird backwards thing. So it's got a flat side and a round side. This has got a flat side and a round side. But when you put it together, it'll go in round to round and flat to flat, but it gets stuck. You actually have to turn it around and have your flat to round blah 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 opposite. So it goes in there opposite of you think it's going to go, and it's smooth. If you do it the other way, it's sticky. I know ahead of time on a 150, seat clearance is an issue with the cable. The cable comes in and it's bending too much, the top of the seat hits it. So I went ahead and pre-ordered this right here off AliExpress also, and they're pretty cheap. I think it's like $2.75 on AliExpress. They're like 11 or 12 bucks from like a credible place like Roll and Wrench. But this carburetor here, that was really cheap. Was it $10? These things would be 100 and something, I think, from Roll and Wrench. Another AliExpress part that may make it in the trash can. So it threaded in here all right, but this does not thread in here. It's not the right size. If you look at the legit one I got from Rolling Wrench, it came with the whole top piece, and you screw that on, and then it has the angled thing, and it's not quite 90, it's like 45, and then the cable fits into it. So no adjustment, but it works. This AliExpress one I don't think is gonna work. The AliExpress foam filter.
Shut up. Come on, you. Cough up a bucket, cheap bastard.
I'm trying to make it just like a unifilter. It has the part that goes over and the part underneath it. Wow, cool. So the manifold fits in the plastic. No cutting required there. It looks like the studs work good. There's plenty of thread sticking out. So if we have to add a spacer, we can. Something's hitting. I think it's... yeah, so it's hitting right there. It's like where the float bowl sticks out or something. And 2 ways we can solve that. We can raise this carburetor higher, and that would fix it. But watch this, we put the seat down. You see that right there? The cable's already going to be bent too far. So I'm going to see about shortening this red thing and bringing this carburetor this way more. That'll also make it easier to put the air filter on. So this little nub right here is what's hitting. So I can take some of this red off, probably shove the carb in farther. I may can do the same on the intake side, so maybe I'll take like a 1/16 off of each side of this thing. I hope this dumb idea works. Whoa. I think it's working. That's a great thing about AliExpress parts. You can try stuff. If you screw them up, no big deal. It doesn't cost that much. Just gotta wait a long time to get them. But I discovered also I can twist this thing. Yeah, see, look how it's sideways now. I might mount it like that. That's gonna solve a lot of problems. So the goal is to prevent air leaks in here. Now there's an O-ring that goes on this right here. It's sitting on the shelf. I keep losing it. But the best way to prevent air leaks on this is put this on first. Get it all tight, get it all snug so we know the carburetor's not holding it crooked or up or something like that. Then once that's on, then you can put the carb on. It's easiest to turn the carb on its side, shove it in there, and then spin it back into place. Now see how the carb's at a little bit of an angle there? kind of goes out and clamp it down just like that. It actually clears now that I've shortened it, but I don't know. I could see that rattling. I might go ahead and put it at that angle. It just clears everything nicer that way. When you get your filter, it's got to be this kind with the angle in it. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it makes life easier. And here's why. Because how it fits in, it allows it to clear that piece of that engine mount.